Hey, shalom everyone. This is Chris Shoemaker, also known as Yehuda Ben Shomer, and welcome to the Daily Drosh. Today's Daily Drosh is taken from Matthew chapter 6, verse 3. And these are one of these verses that, with the Western mind, we kind of think, what is Yeshua really trying to say here? It says, but when you give to the poor, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving will be in secret, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. So what does that mean, left hand, right hand kind of thing? Well, back in Yeshua's time and in Yeshua's culture, the right and left hand had great significance. The right hand, or the right hand rather, probably looks different because of the way the camera is. It's probably opposite to you, but the right hand represents favor, represents generosity, represents goodness, and the left hand represents withholding. It represents judgment. It represents being stern. It represents being stingy. So basically, the right and the left hand is symbolic of generosity and being stingy, not wanting to be charitable or not wanting to give. So basically it says, but when you give to the poor, don't let the stingy side of you, don't let the ungenerous side of you know what the generous side of you is doing. So that your giving will be in secret, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. So the right hand represents generosity. We're to be generous to the poor, because in other passages of Scripture it says when we give to the poor, it's like we're lending unto the Lord, and because the Lord is true and just and fair, He's always going to give us back. He's going to always reward us and give back what we gave, and a lot of times He's going to give it with interest. He's going to give us back more than what we gave. So we're always to be generous. We're not to be stingy. And so in this passage, if you go down to verse 22 and 23, it talks about the eye. It says the eye is the lamp of the body. A lot of people say that the eyes are the window to the soul. You can tell a lot about a person's mood just by looking at their eyes, whether they're happy, they're sad, they're angry, just by looking at their eyes. So the eye is a lamp to the body, so that if your eye is clear, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be filled with darkness. If then the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? So it's the same kind of principle here. When you have a clear eye, it means it also represents that you're good, that you're generous. And when it's talking about a bad eye, it's talking about being stingy. So this whole, because if you look in the verses above in like 19 and 20, it's talking about storing up your treasures in heaven, and it's talking about your loyalties to money and where your true treasure is, and fasting and things like this, and you go up further, it's talking about giving to the poor. So all this is in context with being generous or being stingy. So a clear eye is a generous eye. It's looking at somebody with favor, with love, with generosity, and a dark eye or a bad eye represents being stingy and being withholding. So hopefully that cleared up these passages for you, and next time you read Matthew chapter 6, you'll be able to read it in a new way and in a new light. And remember, always have a clear eye and always work with your right hand. In other words, always be generous, because our God is generous. He doesn't have to give us the breath that we have. He doesn't have to give us anything. He's not required to give us one thing. We sinned, we rebelled against Him, so He has no obligations to us. But because He loves us, and because He is a good God, He loves giving good gifts, and He wants us to imitate Him. Just as He is a good God who gives good gifts and is generous to us, He wants us to be generous to others. So thanks for watching. Shalom, Shavuot Tov. Have a great day, folks. Find somebody to be generous to today.